topic is boosting protein naturally, membrane solutions for high-protein dairy and beverages. Me and my colleagues, we will introduce our company, what do we do, and also do a short introduction of ourselves. Paulo, can you go to next slide, please? So we will do a brief introduction one by one. First, my name is Amelie Xiao. I'm marketing manager at PCI Membranes. And now I hand it over to my colleagues.
Paolo Sudati is a product manager in key account. So discussing today for protein boosting and PCI since 3.5 years.
Myself, Samson Akambi, process and application manager for PCI Membranes. I will be supporting my colleagues during this webinar.
As to today's agenda, we will first to introduce who we are, about our company, and what do we do. And then we will share one of the most popular market trend in dairy processing. It's about high protein applications and protein standardization. And followed by that, we will share with you some of our case studies and references, how we were able to help our customer to achieve success in their processing. And then we will also talk about our membrane solutions, our product portfolio, how we were able to help to standardize protein by using our products. And then last but not the least, we'll share with you more in a direct perspective, what kind of operational impact you can expect from using our products. At the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A session where we will answer all your questions. And before that, during this webinar, anywhere, anytime, if you have a question, you're very welcome to ask a question either on the chat or on the Q&A session, and then we will answer it all together during our Q&A session. So now I will hand it over to my colleague.
Yeah, so PCI Membranes is a specialist in membrane filtration and separation, part of the LPF, liquid process filtration infiltration group, with a global presence. We have a manufacturing plant in Poland, and the sales presence is in United Kingdom, UK, Italy, Germany, China, North America, Brazil, ensuring to cover the most of the globe. We are FDA certified, and so we are dealing with the food markets, but also other wastewater related applications, going even to pharmaceutical and chemical markets. Today's focus is on dairy and protein, as the dairy market is back to its greatness, like instead it was let's say affected by alternative protein like vegetable or other market, not dairies, but we saw the market now is back on track, and so there's more interest. And what's interesting from a customer point of view is that the customer is most focused on ILT product, very few processed product. That means the protein is gently separated. And talking about products, the most product that we see now the interest in is on dairy drink, yogurt, high protein yogurt, enriched milk, and so on. So while it's a liquid application, so membranes play a really high role into the separation of key components, key compounds like protein or other smaller molecules that are present in the dairy streams. So this is as the membrane works. The membrane is a very fine filter that is able to separate colloidal, macromolecule sugars until even ions, if you speak about reverse osmosis. And the protein, the protein that we will deal today is mostly done with ultrafiltration and microfiltration, and then also the byproducts coming out from permates can be even selected more. As for example, going out from the ultrafiltration, we can even recover still value from the permate, like selecting the lactose and concentrated lactose to further treatments. Obviously, the dairy market is around milk, because everything is playing around milk. So when we got cheese, when the curdle is done, you get then whey, and most of these dairy streams are compounded by fat globules. So it means also casein micelles, whey protein, lactose, and water, and also other mineral salts. The mainly developed market is around the cow milk, but then you see we have many other increasing also in their share, many other different milks. The most common application in the dairy industry, we are speaking about the whey protein concentration and clarification, milk pre-concentration, protein fractionation, lactose reduction, lactose recovery, and bacteria removal, and milk protein as it is. Also, another application that our membranes allows, it's the recovery of spent caustic in the CIP cleanings. That's a really interesting one. So looking at the sustainability and circular economy, the water cycle is really important in the dairy factories, and where our membrane, the membrane we produce, play a key role. A bit of highlight in the protein standardization. Standardization means achieving with membranes a very stable concentration level of protein in a stream. What does it mean? It means that you maximize the production. You can make your production the most predictable without any problem in not a constant production. So it means even optimizing the, let's say, the value out of production. And how it works with combined technologies like microfiltration and ultrafiltration. We have a tubular membrane that can concentrate the protein, and with the ultrafiltration cutoff, and instead with microfiltration we're selecting different pore sizes and molecular sizes in order to get the best out of the process. And we see here a bit of technologies that can make it achievable. This is an overview of how it looks like, the dairy processing overview. This is in particular for whey protein, one of the most developed markets. So from milk passing through the cheese making and the whey protein production up to whey protein isolate, that is the purest level of protein concentration you can achieve with different steps like ultrafiltration, then diafiltration, EDR, and evaporation, and then spray drain. With byproducts also treatment, so you can even recover the most of the water from these old processes, because applying the reverse osmosis membranes, you can recover even pure water from a system, from a stream. Going through different case studies and a bit of references, we got even more. We didn't 8 years, but we are playing with the biggest player in the market. So a case study that we've been requested to get into is the slide protein concentration in order to get the milk with the standard concentration of protein. And it happens that sometimes during the different seasons in the year, the milk from cows is not at a certain, let's say, standard level of protein. And thanks to our ultrafiltration membrane, we can achieve and get to the customer what the customer is looking for. For example, concentrating the protein slightly. Concentration means from 2.8, for example, to 3.5, and it's just VCF, so a concentration of 1.25. That is not that challenging for the membrane, but it's really important for the customer to get a really well-desired product. Then the most common is the whey protein concentration that is done by RO or NF, and is also partial demineralization, partial because it means that is like 30-40% of salt removal from whey stream that the membrane system has to treat. It's one of the most common applications we see in the market, so it's pretty well known. VCF4 is total solid that is going from 6% of the whey itself up to 24% of the concentrated whey, and then you can treat by RO like a polish and recover water from the permeate of the nanofiltration, removing all salts and getting fresh, a good quality water from the permeate of the nanofiltration. And here we come to the heart of the presentation. This is only one of the products that the customer is looking for nowadays: high protein yogurt production, but it could be also high products milk, or another different milk or dairy beverage with a pretty nice concentration of protein or other compound that can enrich and fortify the beverage. That's why they are called enriched or fortified. A deeper look into the application. So the concentration is much higher for protein. So we're moving forward to achieving a 30% in protein concentration only. And we usually work with the skim milk because skimming the milk, it makes the membrane working better. From a operational cost, it's even cheaper. And then you can add or not the fats that you remove, the cream that you remove from the milk at the end of the process. Our ultrafiltration membrane 10K, for example, is one of the most used in this high protein enhancement process. So now I'm handing over to my colleague Samson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paolo. Yeah, from here, our intention is to give you an overview regarding the membrane type that we can supply for your need when it comes to dairy applications. Could you move to the next slide, please? Certainly, PCR membrane is known for producing tubular membrane, but over the course of the year, we are also able to produce and supply spiral membrane geometry as well. Just a bit of history regarding the use of membrane technology within the dairy industry. We know for sure that at least till 20-25 years ago, tubular membrane geometry is mostly used for dairy application. Well, over the course of the year, it's been possible to develop some sanitary spiral membrane, which are also able to, be able to use for, dairy application. So nowadays, of course, spiral membrane are mostly used within dairy industry, but we also have tubular membrane geometry available. In terms of the membrane that could be used, as explained by my colleague so far, looking from microfiltration range to ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, and reverse osmosis. It all depends on the application that you're looking to implement. Essentially, if you are looking to complete a whey protein concentration or isolation, we know that ultrafiltration membranes are mostly used for this sort of processes. UF membrane, of course, occupies approximately 35% of the membrane market for dairy, whereby you also have microfiltration, nanofiltration in the region of 33%, and then reverse osmosis as well could be used. When it comes to whey protein demineralization, of course, there is a possibility to implement the use of nanofiltration membrane. In this particular slide, we have the AFC30, which is a nanofiltration membrane that could be used for this processing. So the permit stream from the UF, which of course contains some lactose, some minerals, could further be processed with the nanofiltration, looking for a partial concentration of the lactose and also removal of the minerals. Otherwise, we can also look at the reverse osmosis membrane, which could be used for whey concentration. It could be used for, skim milk concentration in order to increase or standardize the product in terms of the content of the protein or in terms of the content of some other compounds. So yeah, this particular slide is to give you an overview of the tubular membrane geometry that we can supply for you. Regarding the UF, the mostly used, as explained by my colleague earlier, you have the 10,000 Dalton membrane. In the range of the UF membrane, the ES209, which is one of the mostly used in this industry. Same applies for the ES625 when it comes to pre-concentration of skim milk as well, in order to increase the protein, also increase some of the compounds in the dairy in the milk solution ahead of the cheese production phase. So these membranes are mostly used. Then the next slide, we can go to look at the spiral geometry, which is another format of membrane that we can supply as well. As I explained initially, spiral membrane are now mostly used within the dairy industry for many applications. And one of the benefits from our side is that we can supply to you different pore sizes, going from microfiltration, as you can see from the bottom on your left hand side, approximately 0.1 micron, which may be ideal as well for let's say removal of bacteria or spores from your brine. So obviously to further improve the quality of your brine solution, so you can use the MF for this application. And then moving forward, you have the UF 10,000, 5,000 Dalton, mostly applicable for whey protein concentration ahead of your whey protein isolation production. And then furthermore, we have some nanofiltration membrane available, NF1, NF2, with different pore sizes. NF1 in the region of 150 Dalton, NF2 in the region of 300 Dalton. So these can be used for lactose concentration or partial demineralization of your whey product. Furthermore, we have reverse osmosis spiral membrane as well available that could find used in the production of whey concentration or milk concentration as well. So these are the membrane range that we have available between spiral geometry and also tubular geometry that we can supply to our customers within the dairy industry. So we can move forward to the next slide, please.
Yeah, so from an operational point of view, what's expected from a customer point of view. what he's looking for a customer is obviously the flexibility in the application and design requirement, and the cost, obviously, the cost to quality ratio, and how the membrane selectivity is working. That is, at the end of the day, everything summed up in the efficiency, the overall efficiency of the membrane itself. And so this is what nowadays is what can be achieved into the production with the membranes.
Thank you to my colleagues who have guided us through the presentations for this webinar. Now we come to the QA. And before we answer your question, I like to launch a survey just to have some of your feedback. If you would like to be contacted after this webinar to learn more, either discuss about your dairy projects, or to learn more about our membrane solutions for dairy. Now I will launch the survey. And during this time, you can answer the survey, and we will also answer some of the questions as well. So we have the first question, which is, what is the actual trend with dairy products?
Well, the dairy product, as mentioned before, yes, it's getting back on track. It means it observed a slight decline in the past few years when the alternative protein markets grew up, but now is settled. The alternative protein has been settling instead in the last year, and so now milk, the dairy market globally in the overall has seen getting back to the even better results. So because the customer itself is back to the dairy products as new products. So they're looking for high protein concentration, high protein yogurt, milk, enriched with also other minerals, and again, without maybe removing the cream, the fat, in order to look at healthier product with functional also advantages in the body.
Thanks, Paolo. The next question: do you recommend specific cleaning steps for removing protein and residues after dairy processing?
Of course, we recommend what's recommended, as we see in the market. Every customer has its own cleaning protocol, and depending on which product the customer is dealing with and the process that's applied to, that means the temperature, for example, there's a difference between a cold or a hot process. High protein milk or high protein whey with other component can affect the performance of the membrane. So the basic the standard protocol is to apply a basic cleaning, and then also an enzymatic cleaning. Enzymes helps a lot in removing what the fouling issue on a membrane can be, and then an acid can be even applied if there's a problem of, for example, mineral fouling. It's really custom designed, custom done by the chemical product supplier and the customer together. Obviously, we can participate, we can suggest, but as we can share the limit of the operational, but also the physical limit of the membrane, and that should be respected to have a longer a longer lifetime on a system. So everything should be optimized so that the message is to optimize together with the memory supplier, the chemical product supplier on the production, but it's really highly custom.
Thanks, Paolo. The next question is, are you performing lactose reduction on milk?
Yes, we are. It's an NDA product because we launched a specific and a highly exclusive partnership with our partner Blue Tree, while we're developing this sugar reduction, and we are achieving very high level of sugar reduction in milk. We are talking about starting from 30, 50%, even 75, and close to higher level of sugar reduction in milk. It's a really highly innovative platform we launched together. We're really proud of that. It's an under development process, and what differentiates us from the market is that there's no any additional chemistry or even water added to the stream. We naturally, physically separate lactose from the stream, leaving the natural taste in.
Thank you, Paolo. Then that's all the questions we've had. So if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate. I see we've got new coming question from Mark. So I understand you are working with the top dairy product manufacturer. What about the market below them that don't as yet valorize their whey discharges? What economic arguments can you make to convince them to try membrane processes?
Well, it's a discussion we started many times. Everything comes to the target the customer is, and depending on this, we can develop most of the processes. But using membranes means being selective. That again means having a product that is convenient for the customer to be produced. That means the quantity of the production that the customer wants to launch on the market. And so every economic evaluation should be done in front of them with data. But everything comes from the value of the product itself. That means how I don't know, from a yogurt, for example, enrich in protein yogurt. You evaluate a nutrition process, and it comes to what's the end product that is coming out the membrane. But it's an easy job to be done.
Thanks, Paolo. Samson, do you have anything to add to this question?
No, I believe Paolo has covered pretty much everything. If there are any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact us, and we're going to be more than happy to provide feedback to you.
Sounds good. Okay, if you have further questions, you can either write us an inquiry form from our website on the contact form page, or you can reach us by email or LinkedIn as well. Okay, so today's webinar, I will say thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. We will be sharing shortly with you the replay of this webinar. We are very happy for your attendance today. Thank you. I wish you have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.